All right, let's try this podcast for the third time. This is episode 1 of, I don't know what to call it yet, but usually I would have my co-host on, Max, but for right now it's just me. Most of this is going to be ranting about the Giants, so if you're not interested in that, then I guess this isn't for you. But for Giants fans who are frustrated with this organization, I got no answers. They really suck. Everyone. Well, I shouldn't say everyone. One person I will give a lot of credit to this year is Joe Judge. Judge, despite not having the most talented team ever, and despite having a quarterback who just ruins everything for this organization, I'll get to that later. Just a quarterback who doesn't know how to win a single game. He's doing a good job. Judge, despite having nothing to work with, has proven to me that he's a good head coach. I think he's proven that. The defense fights for as long as they can, and I think that's largely in part to him. And I say as long as they can because they're on the field for 90% of the game because of Daniel Jones. Hey, let's get into it. Daniel Jones. Man, I've recorded this video 3 times, and each time either the file got corrupted or the audio didn't work. Something. Through all 3, my opinion has not changed about Daniel Jones. He is, one, he's not our quarterback. He's not the answer. And I know there's a lot of Giants fans who say, give him time. Give him time to correct these mistakes. How long? How long do you want him to take? He leads the league since 2019 in turnovers. 34 in 20 games. That's pretty awful. Those are atrocious numbers. You are giving the ball to the other team more than you're putting it in the end zone. That's inexcusable. You can't have that as a quarterback. As the person who's supposed to lead this team week in and week out, you cannot just hand the ball to the other team like a gift. At least make him work for it, and he doesn't. Against Tampa in week 8, all Daniel Jones had to do was take a sack. That's all he had to do. It wasn't like it was some Hail Mary attempt and it got picked off. These were second down and first down situations that were easy. They would not have affected the drive if he had just taken a sack. Daniel Jones continues to be the worst quarterback I've ever seen. This season, I've maybe Nathan Peterman, but I'm not really going to count him because, he's not considered a starting quarterback. He was a backup. I'm not going to consider him a starting quarterback. Maybe Jamarcus Russell is a good comparison for Daniel Jones in terms of just how awful he is. Ryan Leaf, pretty awful. But besides that, Daniel might be the worst first-round quarterback in recent memory. I've never seen a quarterback who loses so many games. He does not know how to win. He is a loser. And the good thing about that is, despite Daniel Jones losing almost every game for this team except 2, I believe the 49ers game was just a blowout. We had no chance in that. And the Eagles game, that was Evan Ingram. Ingram and Deion Lewis. Lewis should have held onto the ball. Ingram should have held onto the ball. Besides those, all the other games are Daniel Jones' fault. Red zone interceptions, fumbles, not clutching up in the fourth quarter, keeping your defense on the field too long for too many drives. The good thing about that is the rest of the team is good. And I know a lot of people want to give Daniel Jones shit. He's like, oh, he doesn't have anything. Wrong. Daniel Jones has everything you need to succeed as a quarterback. You have a phenomenally talented tight end. Maybe the most athletically talented in the league besides maybe George Kittle. Evan Ingram, if he can just shore up his hands on some of these throws, and I understand he runs bad routes, and a lot of Daniel's interceptions are due to Evan Ingram, but I blame that a lot on play calling. I don't blame a ton of that on Ingram. His hands aren't that good. We know this. Daniel also has a very talented receiving core, which we saw in Week 8. Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton, all they do is get open. All they do is burn corners on deep routes. And I think it was 5 or 6 deep shots that Daniel Jones missed. A few were in the end zone to Slayton. A lot of them were in our own territory, throwing to Shepard that Daniel missed. Jones has talent around him. The offensive line, I'll give it to you. It's not great. Andrew Thomas has continued to struggle through these games, but he's getting better. In Week 8, I think he only gave up 1 sack, and that was because Daniel Jones was trying to scramble and he ran forward. Thomas did his job. Thomas did his job all game. And that's what I really like, because he's doing it against Jason Pierre-Paul, who is still a decent pass rusher in this league. Still a one of the better pass rushes he's faced. The rest of the offensive line played phenomenal. They were opening holes for the running backs on most runs against the number 1 run defense in the league. It's all on Jones. If he wants to stay on this team, he should prove that he can win with this offense. And I think that he could. I think any quarterback in the NFL, given the Giants' offense, could win easily, considering how good the defense has been. The defense against top offenses this year has been phenomenal. Their third down defense has been rough, but they need to mold. They're a new defense. And considering the type of offenses they've been going against, they've been playing well. James Bradbury, I believe, is the best corner in this league. Blake Martinez has been playing like an all-pro. Leonard Williams is playing like a Pro Bowler. He's playing phenomenal. Jabril Peppers, despite getting burned in coverage a lot, he still makes every tackle that he attempts. He doesn't give up any tackles. The defense is playing hard. The offense has talent. And Daniel Jones can't make it happen. He can't. He's just a loser. I'm not saying that about him personally. He just doesn't know how to win. He can't win. When the game is on the line, when it's important, red zone and fourth quarter, he can't make it happen. Now, how do we fix this? We could give it 5 more years of saying, wait, maybe he'll do better. We could give it 5 more years of, no, he doesn't have a good offensive line. Oh, we don't have Saquon Barkley. Oh, we don't have any receivers. Oh, Evan Ingram sucks. Or we could do what we should have done and stop blaming Gettleman, stop blaming the organization, start blaming the person who is responsible for these losses. It's Daniel Jones. These type of problems I don't see getting fixed. He did everything he could in the offseason to shore up his ball security. He still fumbles every game. He did everything to watch better film on defenses. He said that he was in the film room all offseason learning how to watch film. He can't. He can't read coverage. He has a phenomenal arm. He can make hard throws. He panics under pressure, and he turns the ball over. That is the worst quality you can possibly have in a quarterback. Someone who panics when it matters. And what sucks is that the Jets are worse than the Giants. So we're not going to get the first pick. The Jets are going to pick Trevor Lawrence and waste his career because Adam Gase is probably still going to be the head coach. That train wreck of an organization. So they're going to ruin Trevor Lawrence. So what do we have next? What do we have left? I think we take Justin Fields out of Ohio State. And I know Ohio State quarterbacks don't really pan out. Dwayne Haskins. They don't pan out how you like them to. But I think Fields is working with a lot less than what Haskins has, and he's making plays. He's doing exactly at Ohio State what Daniel Jones can't do with the Giants. Fields, I've seen on numerous plays, escape pressure, find an open receiver, and throw it. And throw it confidently, and throw it for big gains and touchdowns. Something that Daniel Jones can't do. Fields is what this team needs. Obviously, it would be lovely to have Trevor Lawrence. on this team because I believe he's the perfect quarterback. I think he's everything you want in a quarterback, but I don't think we're going to get him. So you take someone with a slightly less talented arm, a little bit more mobile in the pocket, and I think we start winning games if we take Justin Fields. Now, this is Dave Gettleman we're talking about, and he might make controversial first-round picks. So who are the other options? Penny Sewell out of Oregon, left tackle. Phenomenal talent. Probably the best offensive line prospect since, I don't know, Quentin Williams, Ronnie Stanley. He is phenomenal. There's not a lot wrong on his tape. Maybe he doesn't drop back into his pass set quick enough. But the dude is a physical specimen. He's 6'8" or 6'7". I probably have that completely wrong. But he's a giant dude. He can get to the second level, and he's quick enough to make blocks in the second level and not whiff. I would love it if the Giants got him, but that would mean we have to keep Daniel Jones, so I believe it's the wrong move. What are the other moves? Micah Parsons, middle linebacker for Penn State. I think Parsons would be a perfect pair for Blake Martinez. Martinez is a run stuffer. He can shed blocks, fill the hole, but he's not very good sideline to sideline, and that is exactly what Micah Parsons is, and I think that's what this team needs because the middle of our defense is completely secure. We spent so much money building an 80s-style defense to stop runs up the middle, which they don't have it anymore a whole lot, but it's nice. Nobody can run against our team. I watched Leonard Fournette get buried on almost every run in that game against the Bucs. Parsons would secure the sidelines for this team, and he would be a phenomenal addition, but that means we have to keep Daniel Jones, and I think it's the wrong answer. Who else? Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU. He'd be phenomenal to have. Him, Slayton, and Shepard, because I think we get rid of Golden Tate in the offseason. Him, Shepard, and Slayton would be great. Slayton, I think, is a good receiver, and I think he could develop into a true number one. I don't think he's there yet, where I think Jamar Chase comes into the league as a true number one receiver and elevates this offense, giving Daniel Jones more help, and I don't know. I think he'd still mess it up. I think Jones would still mess it up. Jamar Chase would be a great addition, though. Who else? Who else do we have? Greg Rousseau out of Miami. That is, besides quarterback, that is the biggest need for this team is pass rush. Although we've been getting to the quarterback, but it's design blitzes. It's not. We don't have that guy that you have to worry about. Maybe Leonard Williams. Maybe. But most of his sacks are one-on-ones. It's not a lot of like splitting double teams. Although he did to sack Brady in the Tampa Bay game. Williams is good. I think you pair him with a great edge rusher, and I think that's what Greg Rousseau is. I think this defense goes from good to great if you add that kind of a pass rush. All we can do is hope for the draft because as terrible as this division is, we're last place in a terrible division. I think this is over. I think this year is over for the Giants, and we have to start looking at moves we can make in the offseason. Who's available in the offseason? Allen Robinson, Kenny Golladay. Both of those guys are going to be available because I don't think they're going to get re-signed. I think Dak Prescott's cut, because he signed the deal. I don't know when he's going to come back. I'm praying for his recovery. That was the worst injury I've ever seen. That was awful. That was terrible. But if he can come back healthy, which there's a very slim chance he does, but if he does, Giants could look to pick him up. It's probably a really bad take because I don't think he's going to come back, but it's always a possibility. Who else did I see who was available? Ronnie Stanley just got extended. He's not going to be available. Who else? Let's look this up. Free agents, NFL. 2021 free agents. Free agent list. No, I want it by best to worst. Top NFL free agents. There's no way Kittle gets doesn't get extended. There's no way Kittle doesn't get extended. He's off the list. Let's see the next. Ronnie Stanley just got extended. Jalen Ramsey. Him and James Bradbury, I think, would be unbeatable. That would be phenomenal. But I think he would ask for way too much. I don't think we would do it. David Bakhtiari. He's only 29. I think the Packers extend him for a while, but Bakhtiari could be someone we look to get. Kenny Clark, we have enough D tackles. We don't need Kenny Clark. Allen Robinson, I would love. Robinson is a true number one receiver. He would be phenomenal. Shaq Barrett is available this offseason. I didn't see that. Shaq is that pass rusher. He's emerging right now. He's in the prime of his career. And I think if the Bucs don't extend him, because they have a lot of players to sign. Let's not forget, their defense is phenomenal, but they got a lot of big contracts to get rid of. So maybe Shaq Barrett could come to the Giants in the offseason. Keenan Allen, I'm pretty sure he's going to get extended. Newton's going to get extended with the Patriots. We don't need him. Chris Godwin. Oh, God. Godwin is a free agent this offseason. We could use him. I don't know if he's a true number one, though, because I think Mike Evans is that true number one on that team. I think Godwin is the number two, despite having a better season. I think Evans is more talented, but Godwin would be phenomenal. He's a great route runner, and he's super tough. He's only 25. I didn't realize that. I thought he was older. Kamara is going to get re-signed. Justin Simmons is probably going to get re-signed. Joe Tooney's probably going to get... Yeah, he's 20. He's going to get re-signed. Yannick Ngakoue, I don't even know where he is at this point. He's on the Ravens, right? If they win the play, if they make it to the NFC Championship game this year, he's going to get re-signed. Cooper Kupp. He's a slot receiver. We have enough of those. We have 2 slot receivers. Kenny Golladay I would love. Dalvin Cook we don't need. Hunter Henry we don't need. Trent Williams is old and not very good for San Fran. Actually, I'd have to go back and watch because he might be good for San Francisco. I would have to watch. Matt Judon is available. They just signed Yannick, and I'm assuming they're going to keep Yannick instead of Matt Judon because Yannick's going to ask for a big contract. Judon's only 29. Judon is only 29. He might be a little too old for what we're trying to build here. Levante David is available at 31. He's probably going to ask for a lot, though. He's probably going to get a big deal. I would pick him to get re-signed by the Bucs. Matt Milano, he's actually a phenomenal linebacker, but he's more of a Blake Martinez. He's more of like a plug-the-middle kind of guy. Cam Hayward, I don't want. I mean, I would love him, but he's old. So those are the free agents. Out of those, I think the most likely the Giants are going to get is Allen Robinson or Kenny Golladay. Out of the ones there that I would like, out of Golladay or Robinson, I would take Robinson. I don't know, because Galladay's a better deep threat, but Daniel refuses to throw the ball downfield. I think I would take Robinson. Robinson's a better route runner. I think he's a better receiver. So what would be a good closing note for this episode? Pick another quarterback. Daniel Jones is a loser. That's my closing. It's my closing statement. Daniel Jones is not the quarterback for this team, and I think we've seen that week in and week out. Can't control the ball. Can't keep the offense on the field. Holy shit, that's a giant bird. What is in his mouth? You guys did not just see this. That was the biggest bird I've ever seen in my entire life. Holy shit. That was crazy. All right, anyway, I will be back Sunday to cover the Giants game and other NFL news. Can't wait to lose again. I don't know. It's the Redskins. So that's the only team Daniel Jones is good against. He's 3-0 against the Redskins. If he was 4-0 against the Redskins, I think that'd be pretty funny. I don't think we will be, because I think the Redskins are on a roll right now. I think they're hitting a stride. Giants are. I guess hitting a stride. Their record doesn't really represent the talent, because Daniel Jones has been holding them back. But yeah, look forward to next season. because I think if we get rid of Daniel Jones, there will be a lot of there's a lot of promise with this team, and I hate that word. I hate promise. I hate potential, but I think this team has it. This team has the talent to be successful because they have been outside of Daniel. I truly believe this team could be 6-2 right now. This team could be 6-2 if Daniel had not made the colossal errors that he makes week in and week out. But yeah, there's episode 1. A lot of optimism for the rest of this team, except the player that matters. I'll be back after the Giants game on Sunday, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.